Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are part of the Translational Research Program. Um, and I asked you guys to sort of, if you can put in the chat, what attracted you to this session? What's interesting? Why are you here? I'd like to see what you want us to talk about. First, I think it's important to start out with something very, very significant. We have a problem in our society, in our world, really. We have more than one problem, actually. One problem is that our technology, our research, our ability to understand biology, health sciences, has created a huge slew of discoveries that have created revolutionary ideas, publications, understandings, but for some reason, multiple reasons really, have not made it to help people. So we have things and knowledge and understandings and ways of doing things that are sitting in the annals of journals, published, not verified, not understood, and not being used to help improve the quality of life. On the other hand, we have people, students that we have trained, and we have trained them so deeply to understand science and so intensely to delve into the research process that they have devoted themselves to knowledge and haven't always had the opportunity to step back and look at the big picture, to try and solve the big problems, the wicked problems of health. That's why the TRP exists. Our mission for the TRP is to challenge you to think differently so that you learn how to lead innovation, to lead positive change, to take knowledge and research and be able to apply it to your passions, to your direction, careers, to where you want to be, and have direct impact on patients, to improve the quality of life, to innovate what's being done, to change the system. That is what the TRP is about, helping you learn how to become an innovator, a person that can help problem solve. And that is why we want to talk to you about our program to see if that's something that you're interested in. So I'm going to introduce Jana, and I'm going to hand over the next little bit to the next slide or so to Jana. And she's going to talk about how, what is translation, first of all, and how we help navigate the landscape.
Right.
Jana?
Thank you, Joseph. So for many of you who probably are not familiar what translation is, so welcome, and we're here to explain that. Translation is the process of turning observations that you see in the laboratory, in the clinic, or in the community, and turn that into interventions that can improve the health of individuals or the public. And that's done through either diagnostics, therapeutics, medical procedures, or behavioral changes. And translation research is the process of how to efficiently do that. So why the TRP? Well, as Joseph mentioned, this process is quite complex, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's difficult to navigate this environment. So the TRP program is here to help you how to efficiently problem solve, how to problem solve more creatively, and basically navigate this complexity and the ambiguity that exists in the translational world. So what we do, as Joseph said, we're here to help you stretch beyond your current capabilities, expand your perspective and skills, and develop competencies that are skills that are transferable to any career that you choose to pursue. Should I go on, Joseph?
Sure.
How do we do that? We do that through competency. So we teach you how to critical think, how to work in a team, how to collaborate better, how to network, how you to manage risk. Again, as I said, problem solve, creatively, as well as communicate and become leaders in any field that you choose to go. And again, the TRP, those skills are transferable to anywhere where you want to go, and for anything that you'd like to pursue professionally.
So the question is, how do we do this? And in the background, I guess there's a lot of pedagogical theory, et cetera, but what it boils down to is this is a kind of graduate program that is in part self-directed. So within our program, there are opportunities for you to learn the kinds of things that interest you, to focus on areas of healthcare, on areas of medicine, or areas of policy that actually you want to learn more about and explore. This is an opportunity for you to look at what you've done already and maybe delve deeper, but also look at other things that may interest you. It is a program that deals with problems. So we present you with cases, we present you with challenges, and we present you with people that are either patients or clinicians or partners that come in with real world problems. And you as individuals and part of the cohort and part of the group work on trying to problem solve. We focus not so much on writing tests and exams and at the end of the process, we focus on your ability to form and learn new ideas. So what's more important is not that you can pass a test at the end and forget everything. It's that you learn the skills of when you're stuck, how do you get unstuck? How do you think about your situation, reflect on what you're doing, and learn from the experiences that you're having? And we do this by allowing you to work on your own projects or on combined projects and real world projects. So what you're seeing here is a capstone team at the front of 3 of our alumni, with members of their committee in the back. And what they did was they realized that for children with incontinence, there was very little treatment if they didn't respond to standard treatments other than surgery. So they looked at other possibilities, and they actually found a minimally invasive alternative intervention that they actually championed and had pilot clinical trials on, and it proved very successful. So that's one example of how our students learned how to be innovative and innovated and actually had real impact on children. Jana, do you want to speak to the next one?
Yeah, so our program is course-based in the first year, and the second year is just you get to work on a capstone project, which is a major project. And this is another example of real-world project that had a great real impact on the community. So this team here, they looked at something called invasive placentation. It's basically a condition when placenta gets embedded in the uterus quite deeply. And the only way for OBGYNs to study that is to actually have the pregnant women with that condition. So this team decided to explore the power of 3D printing to create a model, a simulation that will enable the OBGYNs to study this condition and will help in treating any women that have this condition later on. And it was quite successful. So again, as I mentioned, our program is course-based with a major project in second year. So the program is 2 years. And in the first year, you'll be doing courses such as Foundations in the Translational Research. You'll be doing Rhetoric of Science, which is learn how to communicate effectively. You learn practices and contexts, which are methods being used in translational research. And you'll work on a course called Projects, where this course is going to prepare you for doing your capstone course, which starts in the summer of your first year, where you work on your proposal. And then you start your capstone project in your second year in September. And usually our capstone projects, you work in a team. During the first 2 years, you also have a chance to do modular courses, and you need to take 8. And here is where you have the flexibility. We offer more than 8, but it's up to you which 8 you want to take to complement, if you want to learn something for your future career, or whether you want to, whatever capstone project you're working on, it will help you with that. And some of the modular courses that we offer are intellectual property, project management, mini MBA, privacy and regulatory affairs, health economics, networking, and professionalism, to name a few. And in your second year, you'll be also doing electives. So these are courses that you have to take outside of the program, so in other graduate programs, and they're there to help you, again, enhance your skills for either capstone or your future career. So Joseph, who are our students?
Well, actually, one of the really cool things about this program is our students tend to be people from 20 to 60. They tend to be from sciences, from arts. They tend to be clinicians, professionals, nurses. They come from various different backgrounds and various stages of their lives. What unites them is that they want to work to solve healthcare related problems, to make an impact. And they're interested in working in this space with others who are interested in working in this space. And so what happens is that the career pathways that come from this take our students into industry, research, clinical practice, consulting, academe, and even startups. So where you go through our program partly depends on where you want to go. And the program is kind of like a platform. It's a catalyst for you to help learn the kinds of skills that you may need in future endeavors in your careers. So it's really important. Our outcomes are very, very interesting. And I just want to share with you guys, this is not official or out there. I was talking to somebody last week who is a hiring manager at a company, and she set up a meeting with me to ask, what do we do differently? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, we hired one of your students. And I said, okay, so? And she said, well, we hired one of your students and she was phenomenal. She hit the ground running. She asked the right questions. She started doing all this work and we were really, really impressed. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I'll just keep out an eye for others from this program. But, it's probably a fluke. So we're talking, and then she said, well, then I saw 2 more applications from students in your program, and I interviewed them right away, and I hired them. And all the other 2 students have been phenomenal. And when the reason we're talking is because 1 student is a fluke. 3 students, you're doing something different. So what are you doing? and it was just a really weird thing to be asked. And then she said, well, just so you know, we've now, as of this morning, we've hired a fourth student. And if there are any other students that are looking for anything, just do an email introduction and we'll see if we can create a position. I know that's atypical and probably weird, and the first time that that sort of happened in the last 5 years of this program, but it speaks a lot. I've actually asked her to write a testimonial that depending on what you want to do, we teach you the skills so that no matter where you go, you're able to problem solve and figure out where to go. And for sort of job readiness or exploring whatever your future holds, that's really important. Our requirements are on our website and on the next page. The highlights are, very typical. We kind of look at the overall student, though. We interview our students and we sort of, we spend time getting to know you and understand whether your needs can be met by the program. And that's really important because this kind of education or this kind of approach is not necessarily for everyone. We really do invest a lot of time with our students and working, and so it's important that we commit to you and you commit to us, and that we're trying our hardest and we feel that we can achieve your goals.
So just to add on that, so we are looking for students with a bachelor degree or equivalent, and an average of A- in the last 3 years. But if you have been out of school for some time, we're looking at your professional research or clinical experience. And we're accepting applications now. So you're able to apply through the School of Graduate Studies application portal. We are part of the Department of Laboratory Medicine and Pathobiology, so make sure to look for that department, and under that department you'll see Masters of Health Science and Translational Research. That's how you select your application. When you apply, you will need an academic record, so these are transcripts from all post-secondary institutions, as well as a CV. We're looking for a letter of intent. Please tell us why you want to come here. Why do you want to study translational research? And we're looking for 3 letters of reference, and at least one of them must be academic. For students that have studied outside of North America and their language of instructions was not in English, we do require an English proficiency test scores. Our admissions, we have rolling admissions, and what it means is that once you complete your application with all your documents, we will invite you for an interview. And as Joseph says, this will be a time where we get to know you, you get to know us, and then we'll see if we're a good fit for each other. And within 2 weeks after your interview, we will give you the decision, whether an acceptance or rejection. So again, the faster you apply, the faster you'll get your result. And yeah, go ahead.
Right. So we also have a certain capacity. So we're a fairly small program. Our cohorts tend to be, depending on the year, between 20 and 30 students. So it's not that we accept as many as we can. It's not that we overcrowd. It's more of a curated program and experience. And if you want to know more.
Oh, if you want to know more, yes, we have a longer info session, about an hour, and it's a small group discussion, either with the director, Joseph, or a faculty or a program coordinator like me, to talk about what is TRP, and if you have any questions. We also can link you to an ambassador. So we have some alumni students and current students that are willing to connect with prospective students one-on-one, and you can ask them any questions about the program, about their career path or anything like that. So you let us know. You can connect with us either through the website, email, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I didn't put that in, but if you search Translation Research Program on LinkedIn, you'll see us. And I'm gonna post the Eventbrite to, sorry, I just need to get out, to our info session in the chat. So feel free, you'll have to register, and that is on, I go back, oops. If I go back, it is on November 19th from 5 to 6:30.
So I see a question in the chat. How long after an application is completed? There's no real specified time. We try and do it in about 2-3 weeks. It depends on the volume of people applying. There are obviously peaks and plateaus in the process. And also the biggest, to be honest, the biggest hurdle is your references and them completing their parts. But once it's completed, we generally give feedback pretty quickly because it is rolling and we're trying to recruit the next cohort. There is an application deadline. The deadline is in June, but it's more of a, I don't want to say first come, first serve. If there's a good fit, like I said, we do have certain capacity. We can't take more than a certain number of students. This year, I think because of COVID or what, I don't know exactly why, we've never had this in the past 6 years at least. We already have 5 completed applications, which generally I have never seen until January, February. So there is some advantages to applying early and getting a spot. What essentially means is if you get accepted, you have a reserved spot in the program. We also have waiting lists as a result. So sometimes when we're full, we will have waiting lists to see if we can accommodate others. Any other questions? Honestly, us telling you about the program or you looking at the website is not the same as you speaking to one of our students or one of our alumni. They have the experience, they've lived through it. And if you're the kind of person that is excited by new ideas, that you get bored easily, you like to challenge yourself, you want to learn new things, you are curious and you're motivated, then you owe it to yourself to reach out and talk to one of the students or one of the alumni. Ask them what their experience has been and where they have gone. And that, I think, is the best way to figure out whether this is the kind of thing that you want to look into further.
We have another question. Would this program count as a thesis-based program? No, this is not a thesis. This is not a research-based program. This is a course-based program with a major project.
So, for example, so it depends on what you're looking for and why you're asking that question. If you're asking that question in order to qualify for grants and awards, for example, the grants and awards have a subcategory that says that a major research component. Our capstones are a research component that do qualify for awards. If you're looking for thesis in order to get into, let's say, a PhD afterwards, we're not traditionally, not all of our students go to a PhD. We do have students that do move on to PhDs, but many of our students are looking for other opportunities. So they'll go in and work in industry, or they will work in or look at other programs or other directions. And some of them do go back to do PhDs later. So at one point, 5 years ago, a professional program like ours wasn't quite understood to be something that could lead to a PhD, but we found that it's not a barrier necessarily, depending on what you want to do.
Any last minute remarks?
Join our info session, reach out to a student, reach out to alumni. It's on our website. Click, and we're approachable. We want to hear from you. Find out more.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording.